Hello, suitors, and thank you for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV for the Suits After Show. This is Season 6, Episode 8, Shake the Trees. We're going to talk about the Innocence Project. We're going to talk about Rachel. We're going to talk about Jessica. We're going to talk about Lewis finding love for 6 months out of the year. We're going to talk about Mike's deal. We're going to talk about all of it, and we're going to talk about it next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey.
A little bit of
Work.
I'm in on the shoulders.
For your wife. I literally do the same line every week. How it feels. Hey. Okay, this is for my girls. Okay.
One more? Okay. All right. There. And there. Okay. Well, now she's just showing off. Hello, and thank you for joining us here at AFTERBUZZ TV, or shall I say, the law firm of Kaufmann, Hobson, Brazier, and Ike.
What's up, guys?
Tiana Hobson is off on an Innocence Project. She's trying to get somebody off death row. I think she can make it happen. And Nicole Brazier is actually in New York defending a mob boss, but she even admits it's just a cash thing.
Exactly. No
she
big
just
deal.
needs...
Exactly.
Mob bosses need defensing too. I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann.
Yes,
but I'm not alone.
What's up, guys? It's your host, Stacy. Thanks for joining me. And Steve here today. We are missing Tiana and Nicole, but we will see them next week. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. Tweet me live. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Great. So now we wait for them to tweet at us.
Okay, so we're waiting.
We just sit here in dead silence. I'm kidding. I talked about the Innocence Project up top because we should talk about Rachel, Jessica, Leonard, possibly Maria.
Ooh.
The Innocence Project. I really enjoyed this in this episode.
I agree.
Obviously, we know my prediction. I don't think Leonard's going to make it.
Yeah.
Do we think they're going to... Well, Maria's dead.
I know that was tough because when you said it last week, I was like, okay, it's a great prediction, but it's so sad that I'm like, there's a way out. But it's closer this week to what you're saying.
It's the idea that you can do everything you can, but sometimes people just die.
It's Steve.
Sorry, but that's the lesson everyone on this show needs to learn.
It sucks. I mean, it's so funny because watching this show and hearing so much about the Innocence Project, I wanted to be a part of the Innocence Project or help with the Innocence Project since I was like 18. So I don't know if they're watching, but hello, if you need an intern, I got your back. I mean, I love the idea. I just love how
you could investigate a case.
Yeah.
From the media side, you could just show up with a red carpet
exactly
kit and interview people
and be here for it.
Interview people, and then it would be like those. It'd be like those 90s dating tapes, but you could make one for people on the Innocence Project.
Oh my God, that'd be really interesting. Let's pitch that.
But if you just make like a 10-minute, you just make a 10-minute video for everyone who has a potential Innocence Project, just to sell it to a potential lawyer.
I would do it. I'd be here for it.
She just told you where to find her on the Twitter.
One Take Stace at the Twitter. I just think honestly it was such a beautiful episode. There was a couple scenes with Leonard's performance that we were kind of
interested. He's playing a breathing thing. I started to notice in this scene that I'm gonna be a little upset if they like find Maria's his alibi, and then they reopen the case, and then a jury finds him innocent, and then he like drops dead from like a lung thing.
What? That would piss me off.
This week they set something like that up because there was a brief moment where he like reacted real weird.
Yeah.
And then there was just a lot of breathing, and I feel like it's an acting choice, but it might be really, really particular.
No, I think it was more of an acting choice because, I mean, when you hear, hey, you really might be on death row and like this is kind of happening.
Yeah, human doesn't react. Yeah.
No, I might be gasping for air too. I mean, it was just such a tragic scene. My gosh. I think it was well done. I think there was just that first gasp that I was like, okay. But maybe it was shock. We don't know. No one's ever said those words to us. So hopefully never. Yeah. Right? Okay.
I've lived a whole life before now, but all right.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I'm praying that what your prediction was is not going to happen, truthfully.
Me too, but it feels...
yeah.
I don't want a fictional man to die.
Yeah.
Just so my prediction can be correct.
Right.
But I'm enjoying everything about this story because to a certain extent when she has to face that father, he was like, you did this to make a name for yourself. You didn't, if you really cared about her, if you really cared about my daughter, you wouldn't have taken this case.
Yeah.
And there was a level of truth to that. Not necessarily that she's trying to make a name for herself, whereas she took this case to get out of, obviously to get out of her father's shadow, out of Mike's shadow, but also to kind of escape from what's happening with Mike and how weird everything is for her right now.
Yeah.
She's at a law firm that seems to be falling apart, but not or was and then isn't.
Right. I mean, I understand the grieving father. I just think he was wrong. He was so wrong in the way he approached it. And I understand. No. I think it was just, it's that kind of dichotomy of like, you know, you took it for an innocent person, but at the end of the day, somebody died. And if we don't know who that was, the justice isn't fully served type of thing.
It's something that's, and Jessica even put it, it's really easy to say, really hard to endure.
Exactly.
So it would be really easy for me to say, as someone who watched the show, or as a writer to say, or someone actually in this situation to just kind of say, no one's going to unkill your daughter. Like, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's something somebody could say, but no one will ever believe you until you're actually there. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm aware of that, but this is how I'm grieving. Mm-hmm. I'm showing up to an office that should have security.
Seriously.
He shouldn't be allowed up the elevator.
I guess he was, because they do have, every time they go down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess it's because it was after hours or...
I don't know what the hell was going on, because they usually have security when they're having those big old fights at the bottom.
But there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I guess. And if you're mad, you're mad.
And if you're mad, you're mad. You want to go up, you want to go up. He said his piece and he left.
Yeah.
Love Gretchen.
Yeah, she's so great. She's such a...
Gretchen strikes me as someone who's dealt with that a lot.
She is so bomb. Even the way she's like mama, I don't know. I just love her. I love the way she treats Lewis in terms of just like, she's a hard ass with him. And it's so cool because, you know, Donna's the softie and we only need one softie with Lewis right now at the office. We need someone actually like manning his desk and doing the work. So appreciate that with Gretchen. And I think she handled that scene really well with Rachel. Is it weird? I kept saying while we were watching, and I was like, does he have a gun? Does he have a gun? I don't like that I was saying that. But
you kept asking me, like, does he have a gun? And my only answer was like, that would be the like second gun in the history of this show.
I know, which I'm so glad that wasn't the case.
A complete shift in tone.
Whew, I just wasn't. I don't know, the way he was getting close to her, I was getting really nervous.
I think they were like priming us for that, but that's not.
Okay, that's not the tone of Suits. So.
That's like that episode of ER where the helicopter fell on a bunch of people, and you're like, what? Even for ER, and helicopters are bigger than a street, and there are like so many problems.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That makes me think of like Grey's Anatomy when there was like a tree branch. And anyway,
no, I feel like that explains most of the end seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I say end, but that show's still happening. It
is one of my favorite shows. But anyway, okay, so reeling it back to Suits. But yes, I think Gretchen was awesome. Yeah, Gretchen
was awesome. This whole storyline was awesome.
Yeah,
Maria's dead.
Yeah. Do you think she's like, okay, never mind.
No, she's dead.
She's dead. Okay.
Wendell Pierce says someone's dead. They're probably
he's
dead.
Okay. Yeah, that was, to me, that just solidified your prediction. And that's why I was like, this is tough, because I think this is really what we might see. I mean, we could pull a miracle out of our butts, but do they have any?
No, she was it. Like that was the whole catalyst for opening the case. Like that, there's nothing. Damn. They got him 7 more days or 5 more days? They got him
7.
So they got him 37 days when they should have gotten him 30 days.
Well, to me, okay, this is what I think, because if it's set in 30 days, it's already been set. The date's already set from 30 days. If they got him 7 days, I think it's 7 days within the 30 days. I don't think it's 37 days.
So they didn't even get him 7 more days.
No, I think it was, you have a week to find him. If you find him, we can move this. But if you don't find him, that date's set.
Oh, man. So they didn't even get him more days.
They didn't get him anything. They just got him, okay, they know what we're doing. We're focused 1 week on this.
Wait, that kind of doesn't change anything then.
It doesn't.
Because had they said nothing and then found Maria and then showed up on the 15th day, they probably would have still reopened the case. They really always had 30 days. That's why I assumed
that it was 37.
You have 7 more days, and then it'll be 30 days.
No, I think it was all within. I think they wanted to tell them, listen, this is what we're doing, so give us time to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, and like consider that it might take more than 30 days. And she's like, listen, I can't. It's a week. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of anti-death penalty for stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get into, like, there might be a 1% chance that this person didn't kill.
do it. My God.
So it's like, well, maybe we shouldn't kill that person.
Like, having them rot in prison, I mean, come on, that sounds fine. Do that.
Once again, that's easy to say, those of us who've never grieved.
Yes, yeah.
But at the same time...
No, you're right.
But
yeah.
it's always a deep philosophical discussion of, like, does the state have the right to take your life?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And, I don't know, there are a lot of states that have said no, that we don't have the death penalty.
Yeah.
New York State is not one of them. So that's why we're here. Tough. So while we're being somber, let's jump into what Lewis is up to.
Okay, Joy. All right.
Well, specifically the Lewis Tara stuff.
So that's interesting. What did you think her secret was going to be?
I'm still taken aback by this whole thing because I thought he was going to get caught in a lie, and then
It was over.
it was game over. So the fact that he gets even one more week with her, I'm like, what's happening here? Well, and then also I thought, like, oh, well, they're just going to be in love.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, we're not going to hear from her for like 3 more weeks until they move in together, and then we're not going to hear from her for like a season, and then they're married.
Married, right.
And they're married and they're mudding.
That's hilarious.
Get married in the mud.
That's what a visual is. Well, it's so interesting because now Tara has more layers than I thought she was, because I kind of agree with you. She was kind of just going to be the fling on the side. We know that they were together, but we weren't going to have to get to know her. And now this is something about her that I'm like, okay, I have to get to know you now. I have to get to know. I don't know if we're ever going to meet the boyfriend, or if we're going to end up figuring out, does she, that because there will be a time when she has to decide, is it Lewis? Is it my boyfriend? Because, I mean, I don't
Obviously.
know. For me, it just doesn't seem...
So there was a question you asked me outside. For those who just watch us, Tara dates someone who lives on the West Coast 6 months out of the year. She only dates him for those 6 months that he's on the East Coast.
All right.
You asked me out in the hallway, would you say yes to that?
Yeah.
I'll turn that question on you first. Would you say yes to such a thing?
No. That's all. No.
That's a way simpler answer than love is.
I don't love you yet. And I apparently love / care for this person. And she kind of said it. I've never taken him up on that. So I don't know.
Well, first off, that's a bad deal.
What?
That he's allowed to date people for 6 months in Los Angeles, and she happens to not be dating people for 6 months. That's a bad deal.
We don't know. Maybe he hasn't been doing it that much either. We don't know.
Fair enough. We don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
To answer the question you posed to me,
Yeah, I just don't think I do it. What about you?
when I encounter at the beginning of a relationship, if I encounter something that I would consider a deal breaker, but it's not. It shouldn't be a deal breaker. Like a good example is a woman is a little older than me. Like, let's say a woman's 5 years older than me. In my head, I'm like, that's a deal breaker. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
When it really shouldn't be.
Right.
So I make every attempt to go, if this doesn't work, which it likely won't, because it usually doesn't, it won't be because of that.
Right. It'll be about something else.
Let's give
That's interesting.
Let's give this a chance to fall apart.
That's interesting.
All on its own without this thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's how I would approach this. All right, so let's see how this goes for like 6 months. And then when he's here and then I have to be alone, but we both live in the same city, then we can reassess.
But then you're like into it now and you're into her. That's not fair for you.
But I'd rather...
You want to know?
I know the odds are likely, given anyone's track record with relationships, if they're still looking, is that it'll just fall apart in 3 months. I'd rather have it fall apart in 3 months for the chance that we're madly in love and we have to make that decision in 6 months. That's just me.
I guess.
I like to play games with my heart.
I don't. And I don't know. I don't know. It would have to be I'm just going to stick to no. Because I don't think I can even deal with all the extra stuff. I'm going to stick to no.
By the way, Book Nessa in the chat figured she had a kid. Teodris Malshoy in the chat, I thought she was finalizing a divorce.
Finalizing a divorce. I would have actually liked that a lot.
That would have made a lot of sense.
That would have been cool.
But that would have been clean.
Yeah, but maybe the
The
guy.
show doesn't like stuff clean.
But the husband could have came back with some dirty stuff. Like the ex-husband could have came. I would have liked.
Lewis is a lawyer. Divorce is very much a law thing. Like that wouldn't have.
That's too easy.
I like this, where Lewis has to decide to share.
No, it's not. This is not like sharing regular crap, like cookies. This is like the woman you're gonna be with. Like you live with me 6 months and you go live with some other dude 6 months. That's crap.
That is.
That sucks.
We're all going to be to be continued on that, but
Yeah.
I honestly...
What was the other suggestion? It was the divorce or not suggestion,
finalizing divorce or has a kid.
Oh, I like the kid one too.
Madota in the chat. Lewis looked completely desperate in that dinner date. She is sweet, though. Very considerate of her to tell him the truth right away.
I appreciate that too.
I appreciate that a lot, actually. That would be ridiculous.
I definitely appreciate that. And I mean, Lewis looking desperate. Is it desperate? Is it Lewis? I mean, because everything about it was Lewis. I mean,
speaking of someone who falls kind of hard, is it desperate if you fall hard? Sometimes
No.
you just fall.
no, I don't think so. I think the way that, I mean, because I don't think your version of falling hard is I'm going to buy a house just to remodel it to say what's up. Like, that's not.
To be fair, that's a TV version to begin with.
True,
That's
true.
no one's version of this.
You never know. There could be somebody. I would love to meet you. Like,
Me too. But speaking of someone who's fallen pretty hard, sometimes you just fall pretty hard.
you just hard. Yeah. I get that. Like,
And Lewis is over what I've considered the hard part, which
Yeah.
is just looking that person in the face and just being like, I'm crushing.
Nice.
I'm crushing real hard. Like, let's go out to a fancy place that Donna told me about.
Look at Steven. I love it. You
That
at
took
least
me
like
a really long time
But
to
you
get
at
to that
least-
place of just being able to, like, I'm crushing.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Like, that's mature. High five. There's not a lot of guys like that. So listen, take advice, okay? All right. Steve
Just
Kaufmann.
let a girl know when you're crushing.
If you got to tweet at Steve Kaufmann, do it because there's some advice to be had. Okay, so
Speaking of advice, Donna.
yeah. Oh my God, I love her.
Love Donna so much.
This girl is hilarious. I'm talking about this girl carries an episode and she's never even doing anything that has to do with law. Like somehow she's carrying that. She's so freaking funny. Your hair was extra red today, Sarah Rafferty, and I loved it.
And we had this moment with Donna and Lewis.
Yeah.
Of I love you because we found out that Donna was seeing someone.
Yeah.
And she decided to break it off with them.
Why did she do that? I wonder.
He wasn't good enough for Donna.
Well, we don't even know if he was a good. Maybe it's just like because remember when Jessica broke it off, and he was good enough for her, and
I mean,
that made me sad. He was.
he was a little whiny. But
Okay, yeah, he was. Oh, yeah, you're right. There was some. Yes.
No,
you're right.
he was whiny and then he was clingy. He became like a senior partner at the place because he wanted to be around her more.
But
Like, no, that guy was...
he was whiny, but the clingy wasn't. I mean, he was in love.
He was
falling
professionally
hard.
clingy.
Yeah, but the whiny thing I agree with. I don't care about the clingy part in terms of like their relationship, but the whiny part. Definitely.
I'm sorry, if you're a lawyer and you really love Jessica Pearson, you'll stop being a lawyer.
That's so funny.
That's what you need to do. You just like, I need to go back to school and be a doctor now.
That's so.
Because you're my everything, and I
Right.
don't want to compete with you.
That's so funny. I mean, if we go back to Donna, I'm sad. I would have liked to know what guy she was dating.
Madota in the chat actually says, why do we never see who Donna dates? I hope that comes back.
Yeah, I think it's because that's what's so cool about Donna. She's mysterious, yet she's awesome, and she's like all in your face, never on your business. We literally have to peel her back like an onion. There's stuff about, we just met her dad like last season.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't know that much about her, and that's what's funny because sometimes we as a friend, you're like, I know everything about you, but really we don't. And it's cool. It makes her like this sexy, cool Donna she is, yeah.
I definitely think we're going to see this guy.
I hope comes back up, you think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
'cause
this guy needs to come back up.
Yeah, why
in
drop
some way
him
or the
in?
other.
Yeah.
We'll just dive into Donna right now. Donna and Stu.
Oh my gosh. No.
Just when I had a chance, this episode I'm officially allowed to ship Jessica and Stu, Jessa Stu. And they didn't give anything for me to talk about.
I will not support your vision on that. Just like I do not support it with Stu, and I just want
Would it be
Stu to
Stana? It would be Stana, right? Just to be curious of what the ship name would be. Stana? Can that Stuana?
No, Stana's better.
Stana. Or
Stuana.
Or Studana.
Stu Donna. No, that's just Stu and Donna.
Stana. We're going with Stana.
I think
once again, I'm not shipping them because there is a very strict ship rule, a 3-episode
Stu
ship
was
rule here at AfterBuzz TV.
That's hilarious. Stu is really funny this episode. I love like his reaction to when people come down in that freaking pit. Like he's just always having to react to a different personality. It's weird because when they first came in the beginning of the season, I was like, what's the deal here? But it's funny. Like we got a little comedic relief. I like the way he reacted with Lewis this episode. Donna obviously kicks everybody's butt. Even sometimes she kicks people's butt, and I'm like, I'm a little surprised you're kicking these people's butt. Like, why do you have this authority over this person? You just met him. Like,
because she's Donna. There's like one character in this whole show who gets to literally be.
I need that kind of power.
Who gets to literally have that much power of just like literally walk into a bullpen of traders, walk to the lead one, and be like, "Yo, this is what's up."
And then like you're gonna be respectful of him too the rest of your life. It's like
you're gonna stop being an antagonist after
that's
this
a lot
scene. Like Stu's pretty much part of the team now.
That is a lot.
Because he had one meeting with Donna. Jessica couldn't do that.
She really couldn't.
To be fair, Jessica never stuck up for Lewis, but still, Jessica could never.
It's just like, wow.
Jessica never made him like completely make amends with Lewis.
So funny.
So there's two things happening right now.
Yeah.
One, I'm pretty sure if you were to go to the NBC Universal store, you'd be able to find a brand new design for the You Got Lit Up mug, which is cool.
Yeah.
For those of you who want a brand new mug. Me personally, I love me some. I'm a little frugal, so I believe this means if I go in the NBC Universal store, I can find the old design of the You Got Lit Up mug.
And it'll be super cheap.
And then we can get like 4 of them.
Oh my gosh! Please can we do that?
Don't buy them until I buy them.
Yeah, please.
You follow me on Twitter.
Rick, how do we not have a mug already? Like, what are we doing? We need to get those mugs
in due time.
Because we need to all be drinking them, and he needs to come in. Just had a great moment picture. Okay, moving on.
I think we talked about that, so we can move right on to prison. But I'm gonna go baby steps.
Deep breath.
Weeks ago, Mike told Gallo that he was going to have Harvey file a motion, and then Harvey straight up told Gallo, "I'm going to get you out of prison," which we didn't believe at all. Gallo keeps seeing Harvey come to see Mike in prison about the other case, about the Sutter case. And keeps saying like, "Oh, so you're here talking about me? You're here talking about me? Everything's about me."
Why would he bring Mike in to talk about you? Shut up. That's dumb, but continue.
Well, because in his mind, why else would his lawyer be talking to him this frequently?
Because he's his lawyer as well. Because he's Mike's lawyer as well.
But it's Gallo's lawyer, so why wouldn't... I know. It's all silly.
Yeah.
But Gallo, who's not an idiot, figures it out.
Yeah. He really did. See, okay, let's talk about this part. Because while we were watching, I was saying that Gallo pretty much understands what's happening to the fullest. And you were saying that you don't think so.
No, I was saying that Gallo understands it, but he can't prove it. The only actual chip he has is that he can tell Kevin.
Yes, and that's...
And spoilers, we've all seen the preview. Kevin finds out.
Yeah.
Like, I say this a lot. The people who make the preview and the commercial don't make the show.
Yeah.
Because in the context of this show, that's not a piece of information we should know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a piece of information we do know now, which is we see Kevin and Mike get into a fight in the kitchen, which means all's been figured out.
Yeah.
And that's the only chip Gallo has, and it's not. And Mike should obviously do everything he can.
We don't know who told Kevin though. We say Kevin finds out, but it could have been Gallo, and then that is a huge chip. I mean,
it's his only chip. His only chip is to tell Gallo.
Yeah, exactly.
His only chip is to tell Kevin.
Yeah, I got you. I see what you mean.
And Kevin can just about suss it out himself.
He really should be able to at this point, because really, why do you care so much, Mike? It doesn't even make sense sometimes.
It's a little beyond.
It's way beyond like roommate. I care about you. It's none of that. Even when he was presenting it to the wife, I almost wish he told the wife the truth, because I'm like, it truly doesn't make sense for you to, have her come see you, make up that you're... It's like, this doesn't make sense. It's too much. If you're not getting something out of it. Him saying, I'm not, it's only that I care about Kevin. I'm like, no, dude, you should have just been like, this was happening. Because maybe she would have respected him. I don't know.
No, that was a rough plan.
Yeah.
Like, all around, that was a rough plan to be like, I'm going to fake a call from Danbury to have his wife come in to essentially visit me, and then I'm gonna on a first meeting with a person.
Exactly. Mic her up, thinking like, I got it.
By the way, I know you're expecting your husband. I'm his cellmate. I'm aware you've been committing a crime.
And go ahead and turn yourself in. Okay?
You should turn yourself in.
It's the right thing to do.
You should cut a deal right now. By the way, I'm being completely unselfish. Being completely unselfish with this information.
If Tiana is here, she would just die. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't make sense, folks. It doesn't make sense. So,
but what else could he do? He's in prison.
It wasn't a good plan. He should have told Harvey a little bit earlier so we could try and cut something for Jill a little bit earlier.
I don't know if Harvey could have made that happen.
Well, at least we didn't even get to find out because by the time he got there, Mike's deal was off the rug, too.
Yeah, I guess Harvey before the SEC guy. So this is where we're going to spend the rest of our time on this deal, on this case. First off, love the Harvey Cahill stuff.
Absolutely great. I wrote it down. Best scene. I love that when he's like, "Thanks, Cahill. You're welcome, Harvey." I love that.
Everything about these two
Was
orchestrating a court case at this point, because like this entire episode, like they're just up and up colluding.
Absolutely.
And just putting on a show for a judge and a client.
And that's the thing, like they are straight putting on a show. I wonder how often this happens in real life.
Probably not that much.
You don't think so?
Lawyers are tricky folks.
They are, but I mean, you never know what they need.
But like straight up colluding, no, that's rare.
I hope so. People.
That's rare in law. Like indirect colluding, probably happens all the time.
Right.
But like
straight up going to the meetings and talking to each other.
Yeah, like straight up saying like, I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. Although to be fair, once again, by the end of this episode, it looks clear they're actually gonna go at it.
Yeah, I know, it sucks. Ugh, I can't believe he dropped the ball on Mike's deal. That was so not fair and not what I wanted to hear.
He didn't drop the ball on Mike's deal. The deal went away. Like.
Why? Because they got what they wanted and they decided not to help somebody? They
didn't get what they wanted from Mike. He came.
How did they know who they got? I mean, whatever. How did they know?
He apparently, like, we knew this deal wasn't going to happen. We all knew this deal wasn't going to happen.
I was thinking it was close enough to a possibility where I was like, all right, let's just do the deal. Let's cut to the summer and like he'll be out and we're good.
And not on episode 8.
Okay, not on episode 8, true.
I'm that person.
So we need to go to what episode, like
9
10?
or 10. He needs to be in prison up until the very end of episode 10.
For sure. No,
and then we either do a time jump or he gets out for something else.
That's what I was thinking. Of course, I thought it wouldn't happen this episode, but I did think the deal was still going to happen. So I'm just irritated. I'm like, what happened? Like, is Sean going to tell us what happened? They just cut it?
No, he did. But they took the deal away.
That's not enough.
Because he's not all powerful when it comes to this case, especially when somebody didn't go directly to him either. Somebody went to the SEC.
Yeah.
So now he's working with the SEC, who's working with the district's attorney's office. There's enough chefs in that kitchen that somebody's like, why are we giving a prisoner a deal who didn't give us anything?
Yeah. Dang it.
He like said mean words to a guy in a room we weren't even sure he was supposed to be in.
Exactly. Oh, crap. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we need another way for Mike to be on to the freedom.
Okay. You have 3 minutes. Give me 10. Give me 10 ways. I'm kidding.
When you only smile like that, guys. Okay. I honestly can't.
No, I can't think of anything either. It's got to be this route.
It's got to be this route.
It's got to be this route, or he has to like openly and willingly decide.
What?
He has to openly and willingly decide that he's not going to try to take deals anymore. He's just going to try to fight his own battles and spend 2 years in prison.
Yeah. Do you think that's possible?
That he can spend 2 years in prison? I think.
Now that he would decide not to just take it. Honestly, he was kind of forced into this deal anyway. Like
Harvey's just straight up forcing him into a deal. There's a certain time clock on it because of Gallo, but I think if he can take care of Gallo, he could knowingly accept his fate. He could knowingly accept his fate in prison, and then that's when he magically gets out.
Yeah. Magically. I think it's so weird that when somebody comes to see you, that everybody knows who came to see you. That's not what happened. I don't think that's what. There's no way in hell everyone knows.
That's absolutely what happens in prison.
Everyone knows who came to see you because they're also seeing somebody, but not when they're not seeing somebody.
Well, the guards talk.
Oh,
the guards are pretty much in there with you. Like, yeah, they get to go home, but like they're also.
Okay, I see what you. Okay, so Gallo has the inside life because I'm like, it's so weird that like every time somebody comes to see Mike, even if, especially when he's not in there, if somebody's in there, it makes sense. But I guess they're reporting back to him. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and like, well, not to mention, day to day would be a very structured routine.
Yeah.
That if Mike's not there, you're immediately like, "Where's Mike?" Mm-hmm. And then if all the guards talk, one of them will be like, no, Mike was with this guy. With who? Oh, Harvey.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I don't know. I kind of hate Gallo now, but okay.
You liked Gallo before this?
No, I just wasn't as mad at him. Like, I thought he was an interesting character, and I thought he brought a little drama, but now it's like, yeah, I don't really
He
care
still has
for
a
him.
phone, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
He still totally has a phone. Like, you're just allowed to have a phone.
Exactly. You're not. He's
He's not a real prisoner.
He's an informant.
But he's an informant that, like, is staying there.
Just, like, waiting to...
Well, because Cahill couldn't move him. Cahill couldn't do anything to him. Mm-hmm. It's like, it was, like, on the federal level. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, wow. Alrighty.
So, do we have anything else to talk about with this deal? Because moving forward, we seem to be where we were a couple weeks ago.
I know. Right back at the beginning.
Just with a case sooner.
Just with Sutter.
Because with Harvey defending Sutter...
Yeah.
It looks like Harvey's going to defend Sutter legitimately now.
Yeah, which is
if
hilarious.
anything, just to spite Cahill.
That's so weird. Do you think Sutter will ever find out what is going on? And how crappy would that be when he does?
Yeah. I could see Harvey just telling him after the dust settled.
Really? That's a lot of truth. No, that's way too much. Hey, I know about you. I know about your daughter. I got Kevin. And that's a lot of truth.
Well, not all the truth.
Okay.
But, like, I only took on this case so I can ensure that you lose so that Mike gets out.
Damn, I think that's even still too much. But
after you free him?
After you free him, okay. After, like, the case.
After you save
win
the case, yeah.
Well, no, I think I'm good with the case.
So,
now,
it's that time people always love. We jump right on into them predictions.
What are my predictions?
What kind of predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Honestly.
I started with this last week. I'll start with it again. Do you think Leonard lives or dies?
Crap. Okay, one more week of saying lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stick with dies.
Okay.
I stick with dies in episode 10.
Okay. Ugh.
Everyone uses it as a way to realize that they need to move on.
Yeah. Damn.
They need to learn to deal. It's it is poetic and perfect.
It is.
I think I'm going to be upset if it's not that.
I think it
point.
is. It's so poetic. I hate it. I mean, it makes so much sense, but I hate that we actually have to use somebody to do it, to show them that lesson.
So Lewis is dating Tara.
Yeah.
Does L.A. Mystery Man show up in next week? Does L.A. Mystery Man show up on episode 9?
Absolutely.
They don't wait till 10? Episode 9?
I think it's good. Ooh. No, I think...
give them I would give them one episode to settle in, and then before he shows up, to, like, really make it like, no, this is forever. Oh, wait, that's right, you're dating a guy.
For some reason, I feel... Okay, you're right. I guess we should, because we did just find out. We don't even know how well the relationship is. Okay, I'll give it to episode 10, but I wouldn't mind if I see him next week either.
Episode 10, we see LA guy.
Yeah.
Keep that on the DL, but it's...
I love that.
You got to keep that.
I love that.
6 months. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
I get to date everybody for 6 months, and then I date.
See you, Tara, when I get back.
Then I date the best woman ever.
That's so funny.
Stana?
No.
Also no. Jessa Stu?
I'm waiting for her old boo to come back based on what
because based on Tiana's interview.
Yeah. I don't know when, but I would he said he might get an apology. I'm like, okay, so we have 2 more episodes just to see if that's the case, and if it isn't, then I guess we have to wait till the next.
How upset are you going to be if that's on the phone? On the phone, we never see him.
So upset, actually.
Just like a real quick...
I could totally see her doing that, too, just making a quick phone call.
Like Leonard dies, and then she really reassesses her life, and then just picks up the phone. It's just like...
Seems that's what's gonna happen.
I'm really sorry the way I treated you. We should meet up for coffee sometime.
And then we never see him.
Well, then we might see him after the time jump into the next...
Seasons come back. That sounds like exactly what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, Steve, you are so good at the prediction lifestyle.
No, I'm good at making good predictions. I'm terrible at predicting TV
Actually
shows.
Good, yeah. But still, that sounds so possible.
Do you have any predictions at large?
Ugh. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of fixated on the Leonard case. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous because I truly want him to live, and I want it to be something a little bit more positive. But I understand why it would need to go the way that you said. So I think I'm just going to stay hopeful in that situation. And then with the Kevin thing, I'm thinking that I want to know how Kevin finds out. So that's what I would love to predict. Let's see. Who tells him? It's not Gallo.
I'm saying Gallo.
You think so already?
I think it's that simple. I think it's that basic. It's prison. Like, how else would he know? Like, that's too many steps.
Maybe his, yeah, I guess, yeah.
His
no
wife
one
doesn't
else knows.
know.
Yeah.
No, only Gallo knows, and Gallo's the only one who has access to Mike.
Dang
We
it, I
also
wanted
got
to-
that line from Gallo where it's like, do you think I don't have access to you outside? So there's talk of him getting out. I think Mike gets out in episode 10.
For sure. Bless you.
Thank you.
I agree with the episode 10. I totally agree with that.
I
think
don't
it's
think
time.
it'll be about the Kevin stuff at all.
It'll be something totally different. Good
I think it's-
behavior?
It can't be good behavior, but I think it's something completely different.
Like a technicality?
I don't know the specifics, but in my mind, he's going to let the whole Sutter case go and be like, I'm out. I'm going to just spend my 2 years. I'm going to deal with Gallo. I'm going to deal with my own problems.
And then he's out.
And then at some point he's out for some reason. That's my prediction.
That just cracks me up.
I don't
It's
have
so
a reason,
Mike.
but that's a TV thing.
Yeah.
But that's a TV thing that you have 2 weeks to make that make sense.
Yeah, that's so funny. And it would be such a Mike conclusion.
Of just
you
like,
know?
I'm literally similar to quitting.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later getting arrested for fraud.
exactly.
Quitting because you're a fraud, then 20 minutes later getting arrested because you're a fraud. Like, where were you yesterday when this was
Exactly.
warranted?
When I was a fraud.
I'm not I am a former fraud.
Hilarious. Exactly.
You're arresting a former fraud.
And you should be, anyway. Okay, I'll support that because I do want him out of prison. So however we have to get there, let's get there. So, okay. That works for me.
Great.
Yeah.
I think we handled it here.
We handled it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. Make sure you keep in touch throughout the week. I'll see you next week.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann. You can also find me on Instagram, but only on Thursdays.
Only on Thursdays. I second that.
That's only when Steve posts on Instagram. But we'll find you after a short recess.
Yes.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit
Nailed it.
AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.